Hey guys, it's your girl Corporate Carolyn, and the work day is clearly over, and I am so excited because I'm getting ready to head upstairs to decompress and to get ready for bed. I have been up since at least 4:50 to do my workouts and everything, and we just finished dinner, and so I asked my husband to go downstairs to give us a minute because I wanted to talk to you about something. I was watching the news while I was lacing up my sneakers this morning around 5, and I saw this little clip where they were talking about how some manufacturers of foods like bacon, they're going to change your labeling practices because the obesity rates in this country have just skyrocketed. It's almost like an epidemic of some sort. And so like everybody makes it so hard. The whole reason that we're gaining weight and it's harder for people to lose weight, which is why, people are turning to things like Ozempic and I can never remember the name of that other drug, but I'm hoping that you're not taking it unless you have some serious health issues that, that make you need to take it. But I don't think the whole weight loss thing, now that I've gotten to be 58 and, I've had different aspects of struggles with weight, whether I was a teenager or after having children, trying to lose weight, getting really, really busy in my career and raising a family, gaining weight, trying to lose weight. And I realize that it's very difficult, but I think people make it too hard. They either force you to do a major calorie reduction, where you're doing things that you can't live with for a lifetime. The things that I've done to lose weight and to keep it off, they've been all things that I'm prepared to do for a lifetime. I can't say that I'm going to sit around drinking, diet drinks, eating diet food, because aspartame and all of those artificial sweeteners make me feel queasy and they give me a headache. So that's not going to happen. I'm not going to eat any kind of crazy diet where I'm eating cottage cheese or eating large amounts of meat and steaks and things, because I don't eat steak. I don't like a whole lot of red meat, and I'm not going to become a vegetarian. I have to be true to myself, and I believe that people, if they're going to make major changes in weight, you have to find a way to be true to yourself. And so I wrote down a few things, that are very simple. If you notice, a lot of the tips that I give, whether it's anti-aging or whether it's related to weight, I try to keep it simple. Because the more simple that you can make things, the more likely you are to continue on with that good habit, right? So like there was a time where I noticed that I was gaining weight and I was debating, in my 50s, debating whether or not I could get some extra pounds that had creeped up, especially after COVID. And so, I was debating about giving away certain clothes to charity. And one of my favorite sundresses now that you will see me on my channel next to the Rock, the statue of the Rock anyway, at the Wax Museum. That sundress, I almost gave it away because I thought that I was looking too pudgy to wear it. And so I didn't know that around the corner I would figure some things out. I made 5 simple changes, and then all of a sudden things started to turn around. One, I started with the intermittent fasting, which I definitely recommend that you guys try. Google it, do all of the fact checking that you need to do, figure out the right time period for you to try it, because it's worked really, really well for me. I do the option of I only eat between the hours of 12 and 8. Like say if I go later than 8 for some reason, then I won't eat my first meal until like 1 o'clock during the day, or so on like that. But intermittent fasting, big game changer for me, and I think it could be for some of you, because you give your body a longer time to burn fat. Like when you rush to eat in the morning, you start to break the fast, which is what breakfast is. You're breaking the fast that you were on during the night. And so especially if you're not eating after 8, your body has a chance to burn fat. When you immediately feed it, I believe that you're giving it carbs and different things to burn, so it doesn't really get to the fat burning stage. So I think that you really improve your chances of hitting some of the fat to start burning it if you can do some intermittent fasting. So that's one thing. And another thing that I did, I started to look at my diet and to see some of the habits that I'd be willing to live without. And if you're doing a lot of different things where you're just loving life and just eating wherever the heck you want to, I'm sure there are at least 2 or 3 things that you could switch up or like limit until you start seeing that needle move on the scale. One of the things I did was we used to go to BJ's every Friday, not every Friday, but Thursday. They would have a deal on ribs. And so we would get like a full rack of ribs from BJ's, and then not only would I get the full ribs, I would get like this wonderful root beer glaze that they would put on it. You could tell there was so much sugar in that glaze. I didn't even want to know what the calorie counts were for that. And then I would ask for fries with it because they make just the best fries. And so I would eat the fries, at least a half a rack of the ribs. I would leave, the other part for my husband, but I would eat my fill of ribs, eat my fill of fries, and then try to make myself feel better by just eating some of the broccoli that I would dip in the root beer glaze, again with the sugar for that. So we were doing that every Thursday night. And then I said, do I really need to drive 20 minutes to get those ribs and to eat those fries every Friday night when I did see that my weight wasn't where I needed to be and where I had that doctor's visit after COVID? And my OBGYN busted me out and said that I had gained at least 8 pounds, and she wanted to know why. So I was embarrassed, and I said, I'll show you in my mind. So one of the things I cut out was the trip to BJ's on Thursday nights. So I haven't had ribs at BJ's for probably at least 6 months, maybe 9 months. So that's one thing that I can live without. Check. What can you live without? Pick your one thing now. Okay, so then the next thing that I did, and I started this last November because I was going to have knee surgery. And I knew that I wouldn't be able to run or do any kind of exercise while I was recovering. So the Granny Smith apple that I would eat in the afternoons around 4 o'clock, I used to dip that in like a little container of caramel, like dipping it in there, and it was so good. But obviously you can tell a lot of sugar was in there. And so one little container wouldn't have been so bad. But for the whole apple, I needed more than the one container. So I would like buy the big tub of it, and then I would dump some more in there and put it in the microwave. And so that would be almost the equivalent of 2 little containers of the caramel. And so me, who claims that she doesn't eat sweets during the week, I was getting that at 4 o'clock, and so, or at least 3 o'clock. And so I was like, if I'm going to be out of commission for a few months, maybe you should try to live without the caramel. And then after a few months of not eating the caramel and just eating the Granny Smith apple by itself, I realized, hey, the Granny Smith still tastes kind of good without the caramel. So I stopped doing the caramel, and that helped me not to gain weight during the periods where I was recovering from having the meniscectomy. And then also it helped me to maintain my weight while I found out I wasn't able to run anymore because they saw wear and tear in my knee, and I have arthritis in it. And so the doctor said, you can run across the parking lot, but I don't want you to run. And so that was life-changing. But when you have like a life-changing thing, you have to make a change in your life. So check, no more caramel with the apples. And so after a while, I just threw it away. And so now I don't even crave it. And you'll notice if you go a few weeks without doing some of the things that you've been doing, all of a sudden it becomes easier. That was the thing that happened for me with sodas. The longer I went without, like where I would go to the movie theater and not order a large soda and not order the M&Ms, because I used to eat a big pack of M&Ms there, and I would drink a soda. So that's what I associated going to the movies with, being able to have a soda, being able to have a pack of M&Ms. So now when we go to the movies, we get a tub of popcorn with no butter, and we get courtesy cups of ice water. So just because you go to the movies doesn't mean that you have to have candy. It doesn't mean that you have to have soda. You can have water, and we have just as good of a time. And believe it or not, popcorn with just plain is good. You just have to get your taste buds used to it. And same thing, where I used to eat peanut butter and jelly before I started doing the intermittent fasting, I would swap out a bag of chips, like when I worked outside of the house, and I would have to eat lunch, and I would bring a peanut butter and jelly and some fruit. I started doing like a pickle spear, like 5 calories, bunch of sodium, but it tricked my brain into thinking that it was just as good as a bag of chips. So that was a huge calorie savings right there. You get the sandwich that you like, you get the fruit that you like, and then you get some sodium, but you trick your mind into choosing a lower fat, lower cholesterol option. So those are things that I've done just like that. But more recently, another thing that I did before my surgery, I got the bright idea that the whole sweet tea thing that I was doing at night to keep myself from eating, I thought because it was green tea mixed with oolong and all these other wonderful teas, I was putting a boatload of sugar in that. And so I'm sitting upstairs drinking this sweet tea. And also before my surgery, I stopped doing that. So I've almost gotten at least 6 to 9 months under my belt of not having the caramel dip, not doing the sweet tea, and also not going to BJ's with those ribs, the root beer glaze, and also the French fries. So that's made a big difference, especially with the fat that used to be on my back and used to make this outfit so tight around here that I thought I was gonna pop out. And believe it or not, I got this outfit from TJ Maxx when my youngest son was playing in AAU. He was 11 then, and he's going to be 28 in November. So you can still fit into your same clothes if you just start looking at your diet and what you're eating, why you're eating it, when you're eating it, and then you can make changes. You can still eat the things that you like, but you just need to make little tweaks, and then you'll see an improvement. Let's see, another thing, I used to eat pizza every Friday night, and for some of you who might have watched my videos years ago, I used to talk about the pizza, and then I was going to have Red Bull. I had gone so crazy that not only was I drinking like a 16-ounce Red Bull, then I graduated to the 20 ounces, and then after a while my body grew immune to it. I used to drink it, and it would help me stay awake, especially while my boys were teenagers and they would go out and do stuff. And so I'd be sitting right there in the family room sipping my Red Bull, and I could stay up long past after when they came home. I mean, sometimes I would just stay up until 3:30, 4 o'clock in the morning, just enjoying the quiet of the house where nobody was bothering me. But after a while, it stopped working. And so I had to drink not just 20 ounces, but then maybe half of an 8 ounce. I was drinking like 24 ounces, maybe 28 ounces, and I'd still fall asleep. And so between the pizza, the Red Bull, and then grabbing a handful of bubble gum, double bubble bubble gum, 20 calories a pop, I thought I could just do whatever I wanted to do. I was very reckless, thinking that because I was on the treadmill doing 7 miles a day, 5 days a week, I thought that that gave me immunity from fat, cholesterol, all those things. It did not. So you can't just think that you can exercise your way out of it. You're really going to have to have those two things work together in tandem. You need to exercise on a regular basis, but you also need to look for extra fat, and literally extra fat in your diet, and just make little changes, and that will help you to get on the road to getting closer to your ideal weight. Does anyone ever reach their ideal weight? I really don't know. Am I at my ideal weight? No, I'm sure I'm not, but I'm at a healthy weight. When I go to the doctor, no one's trying to talk to me about anything, like except for that one time with my OBGYN. But I just tell them, don't mention my weight unless it's something we need to discuss. And for the most part, it's not anything that we need to discuss. So I'm trying to think, is there anything else that was on my list? No, I don't see it, but those few things were enough to get me back on the right path to losing weight. And so by the time, like, I never got a chance to see that OBGYN again because I had a healthy reading. And so I think you go 3 years or something after that. So by the time I tried to go back to see her, she had retired. But with those changes under my belt, I went to get a mammogram and they asked, have you lost any weight? And I said, well, maybe a few pounds, maybe like 5 or something. And then so they said, it looks like you've lost at least 10 because your breast tissue, it's not as full as it was before. And so it looks to us like you've lost about 10 pounds. And true enough, I had lost about 10 pounds, but had I gone crazy, with dieting where I don't eat sweets, I eat sweets on the weekend. I enjoy candy bars, I'll enjoy cookies, ice cream, donuts. I enjoy those things on the weekend, but I put them in their proper place. And it's just not a free-for-all. I'm not eating them all the time. And if you could maybe relegate your major chip eating till the weekend, or maybe cut off your sweets eating until 8 o'clock, or you eat them until 8, and then after 8 you do what I'm getting ready to do. Take your butt upstairs, make you some water. I happen to like ice, but if you don't like ice, then just get you some room temperature water. Take it upstairs. If you need something sweet, what I used to do years ago is I would get some Welch's grape juice, put some ice in a glass with a straw, take that upstairs. Also, I've gotten 1% milk that I would put in the freezer and stir in some Nestle Quick, especially if you didn't get a chance to eat dinner until late, say you're out and you get home real late, you've been on a trip and you don't get home until 9 or 10 o'clock and it's too late to eat. You don't need to lay down on any food because it's too heavy. So what I wound up doing, I would just put some Nestle Quick in that, take that upstairs with a straw, just drink that. And the one thing, and this is the last thing I'm going to say, is that you need to realize is that most of us have so much body fat on us that we're not going to die if we miss a meal. You're not going to die if one night you come home and you're like, I've missed dinner. Grab your glass of milk, just go hop in the bed, or eat you some peanut butter crackers on, peanut butter wheat crackers or something. Grab a piece of fruit and just go to bed, and then wait until the morning. You're not going to die. And sometimes when my husband and I are traveling, he'll say, do you want anything from this rest area? It's I don't want this fast food. Fast food is not our friend. We're over 50. What are you thinking? And he's like, well, I'm just so hungry. I'm just so hungry. And I look at him and I say, you're not going to die. You're not going to starve. You don't need to get anything from McDonald's or Burger King. You're not going to like it anyway. Just wait until we get somewhere. And that's what I'll tell you too. Unless you have some ailment like diabetes or something where you need to eat, on a regular basis, or there'll be a problem, go somewhere upstairs, and just relax your nerves until the next day. So those are some of the things that I've done in order to, be more fit and more in shape than I was at 18, now at 58. Some of these tips, don't sleep on them. Don't worry about Weight Watchers or Nutrisystem. You can make tweaks in your diet. So right now I challenge you to think of 5 changes that you can make and that you can live with for a lifetime. Even if you just say, I'll eat the pizza on the weekend, or I'll eat the chips on the weekend. Have some cheat days, and then try to get as good as you can during the week. Look into the intermittent fasting and let me know what you decide to give up, tweak, or change in order to get closer to your ideal weight. You'll look younger, you'll feel better, and who knows, you might be able to stop taking some of the medicines that you're taking. But it'll help you get closer to living your best life, because you want to feel good and you want to look good. Well, that's all I have, and hopefully that's helped somebody out there. You guys can let me know, and I look forward to talking to you soon in the near future. Until then, have a good one. Bye.